Can we?
Stop now, wiggle with it.
Can we hear me?
I think so. Hold on. Yes, we're good.
All right.
We need to figure out a way to make the podcast not start like this every single time. Can we hear?
But that's not DIY.
That's not very punk rock of you.
Yeah, that's not very punk rock of you. How can we call ourselves GamePunx if we don't do this completely unprepared?
I've never been prepared for anything in my entire life, so.
I guess that's how it works in the end.
Oh boy. All right, so hello, welcome to episode 9 question mark.
Yeah, my favorite episode, 9 question mark.
We have sort of a week, kind of not as much news as last week.
Not as much
thankfully.
news, because yeah, that was like a fucking buttload of news.
Yeah, but the Game Awards only happens once a year, I think.
No.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
pretty much.
And you got E3. Whatever.
Nobody likes E3 anyway.
Nobody likes Sonic's steamy shoes.
Yeah, that's right. Nobody.
I'm excited for that movie.
I'm
For,
excited
like,
to
the
see how much of
wrong
a train
reasons.
wreck it's going to be.
Yeah.
Somebody keeps posting like jokes about like how Sonic and the cop are going to look each other in the eye and Sonic's going to go like, Blue Lives Matter. And every time I hear that, my soul
simultaneously
simultaneously fucking erodes and then is revitalized by how much that kind of joke would ruin me IRL.
Yeah.
Like in the moment
if it
watching
happened
that.
in the theater while you're just sitting there, I think you would like physically just
Yeah.
I have
But-
to
but
leave.
But I also know that I'd have convulsive laugh attacks thinking about it afterwards because of how rote of a joke it is.
The GIF would be great. Oh no. Okay. We sound fucking perfect.
Yeah. But yeah, no, how much my soul would erode hearing that in the theater, but then thinking about it later on, I'd probably die of laughter.
Yeah, it'd be an experience.
I think that you were going to say something earlier about what the difference between the Sonic movie and the Detective Pikachu movie was.
Oh yeah, Detective Pikachu seems to be like self-aware and kind of leaning into itself.
Yeah.
And like that's the only thing that
instead
could
of being
save
like
the Sonic movie to me is that like it kind of tries to make itself a meme.
Yeah, which I think is what it's going to have to do. Whereas if
But it
Detective
can't do
Pikachu
it
did
too
that,
much
that would kind
either.
of be upsetting.
Yeah.
Because I want that movie to be earnestly good. Whereas,
Yeah, and I think it will be.
yeah,
but,
totally.
Like it seems self-aware. Like Detective Pikachu seems sorry, hold on. Gross.
Nice.
Detective Pikachu seems self-aware in the sense that like it kind of knows that the Pokemon look weird.
Yeah, exactly. And it knows
like,
that
the
this
Pokemon
world
are
is
doing
weird.
This weird thing, like the mean Jigglypuff. Like
Yeah.
Jigglypuff's not a scary thing or whatever, but
No,
they probably
exactly.
saw the first model and were like, make it a
Yeah, make a joke about how it looks
have a
mad.
joke. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that, and it seems to be really leaning into its aesthetic as like, this takes place in the world of Pokemon. This is like, oh,
Jesus, Pumpkin, come on. My cat ruins another podcast.
Pumpkin. Ooh, you Garfield, get off of me.
Yeah, get out of here.
There's a Pumpkin, you ruin everything. You fat cat.
My life is broke.
Yeah, they really seem to be leaning into it, and they're setting it in the actual world of Pokemon in a city populated by humans and Pokemon.
Yeah.
Whereas the Sonic movie's like, well, they're not going to set this on like Mobius.
No, but they probably should.
They should, but
can't.
no, they're
I
setting
feel like
it
it'll
on
be kind of
Earth.
like a Sonic X
Yeah.
thing, where Sonic mysteriously crash lands
Into this planet, and all of his friends come. Like
yes.
it just seems kind of like a weird. They're doing the thing that you don't want adaptations of properties to do. They're doing like the Looney Tunes back in action kind of thing. They're doing the
Teen Titans Go.
No, because at least Teen Titans Go, the movie, was funny.
Yeah,
That shit was genuinely hilarious.
I didn't see it.
I'd recommend it, actually.
And
It was good.
shit.
There's a lot of good humor in that. And not just kind of the humor from the show, although the show isn't that bad. I think there's a lot of exaggerated buzz around how bad the Teen Titans Go program is. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Well, I mean,
inoffensive.
people say that Adventure Time's not good, and I'm like, what are you fucking on?
Yeah, like exactly.
Not that that's an
there's
adaptation or anything.
There's
it's just,
good and bad episodes
Yeah.
of every show. Even the best shows have bad. Even Avatar: The Last Airbender, which I think is like a very consistently tight show. It's my favorite TV series of all time.
JoJo hasn't had a
has
single
at
bad
least
episode.
one bad episode.
Not JoJo.
JoJo's never had a bad episode.
No.
That's true.
Not yet.
But it's
Rocky,
also
you've
because
done
the
good.
manga's never had a bad chapter. I'll be right.
Yeah.
That's pretty much why. But yeah, they're doing the thing that you don't want adaptations to do, where they do like, oh, this character comes to the human world, and look at them interacting with all this Earth stuff.
Oh.
Look at
Do you
Sonic
think
making
Sonic's
friends with this
gonna make
fucking
out with a
traffic
girl?
cop. God, I fucking hope not.
Sonic 06, bring it back.
They, I don't trust them not to.
I don't
For the
either.
meme.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
They'll do it, or I think there'll be like a moment where he almost maybe kisses a human girl, and then he's like, "Oh no, that'd be super weird."
Wow, I'm gay, so I'm not into you.
Whoa, I got a big blue furry boner.
The Sonic is probably canon gay.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's not interested in sex with women, but he has
Tails.
pretty significant relationships with males.
Him and
Not with
Tails.
Tails.
No,
That is a child.
well, how old is Sonic?
Sonic is like a teenager young adult.
I guess
Tails
Knuckles.
is literally 8.
Knuckles is Sonic's top.
I'll accept that Tails maybe has a crush on Sonic,
Yeah,
but I won't accept that Sonic reciprocates. That's fucked up.
That's
Sonic
fair.
might be many things, but he is not a pedophile. That's where I stand on my Sonic discourse.
Hot take.
Hot take.
Actually,
Sonic-
that's not even a
Sonic-
hot take.
Sonic, not a pedo.
You thought about that for a while.
But it's true. It's true.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So
Okay.
we've had weeks, I
Yeah,
guess.
we did.
We had a semblance of a week.
Let's do, I guess, a little update. We are going to be trying to do something for next week.
Yes,
next week
hopefully.
is the holidays. We will either have a pre-recorded thing that I'll just toss up on Twitch and then YouTube and
Yeah.
all that shit. Or, if you guys are lucky, we'll find another day and do a actual live thing.
Yeah. Because Wednesday, I don't know if anybody in the U.S. who listens to us. I don't even know if anybody does.
Yeah.
I don't think-
Not yet.
I don't really think Boxing Day is a huge thing in the U.S.
No.
Is that I think it's mostly a British and Canadian thing. It's like
Yeah.
a Commonwealth thing.
Yeah.
Um,
It's very.
But
I remember
Boxing,
living
yeah,
in the States,
Boxing
no one
Day
knows.
is like it's like kind of a busy day, and it's almost like second Christmas for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Uh,
For some
which-
people, it is Christmas because
Yeah.
they're like, why would I buy a Christmas present when I can have it half off the next day?
Exactly. So we might be busy that day, but we could
Yeah.
have something to throw up online.
Yeah.
And we're thinking, and unless anybody who listens to us has any objections, we were thinking since it's probably not going to be a huge news week, it's the holidays, people are busy, we might just do kind of like a pre-recorded thing, kind of our favorite stuff of the year so far.
Yeah, like a top 5 of music, video games,
TV movies.
TV, like
Yeah, stuff like that.
media.
Yeah. So we'll probably write up some individual lists of stuff we want to talk about in like little micro bursts, and we
Yeah.
can do that. That'd be good. So if anybody has any objections, feel free to comment. But
Yeah.
if you don't, that's
Comment,
cool too.
like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah, like, share, and subscribe anyway. And don't forget, if you go to squarespace.com and put in squarespace.com/GamePunx, get half off your first Squarespace website today.
Oh no.
Not sponsored by
You may not-
Squarespace.
Yeah, not sponsored. Not yet. Squarespace, what's up? Please.
Please holler at us. We need a
We
website.
need money. Yeah, or a website.
We
Just
need a
anything.
website, money, anything. You got it. Please give it to us.
Food. I'm so hungry.
Food would be good. So yeah, I guess I didn't have much of a week. I did, I always say that, and then I realize I did a lot.
Yeah.
But I'll be
Well, I
honest.
mean, that's how it
did-
goes. Because, like,
Yeah.
as you're talking about it, you remember what you did in your week, and you're like, oh, yeah, I watched everything.
I watched not much this week. I didn't play much.
Yeah,
I
you're
played.
too busy fucking killing the Nords. Or,
Yeah,
no, not killing Nords.
Yeah, exactly. I'm too busy killing fascists.
But not those ones. The
Not
other
the other
ones.
The other ones. So I was playing Skyrim this week, and ever since I've gotten the game, I've been like, okay, do I join with the Stormcloaks or do I join with the Imperials? Because I'm role-playing my character. My character is a Red Guard and a woman. And I'm just kind of like, well, my character's a Red Guard. She's a mercenary. She's kind of like chaotic neutral. She likes to kill. She does kill.
Everyone likes to kill.
She's manipulative. What side would she join? And I was thinking, what side of hers could she join that, kind of is in the best interest of her? And I thought, well, she's a human. So between being a human and being like a mare, the Thalmor want to fucking kill all the humans. And the Aldmeri Dominion and the Thalmor specifically want to fucking kill all the humans, and they're pretty much puppet controlling the Empire through the White Gold Concordat by now. So it doesn't make much sense for a human to side with the Imperials if they know that eventually the Imperial...
You're gonna Griffith the fuck out
exactly.
of everyone.
The system of the Imperial rule is going to collapse under the might of the Aldmeri Dominion, and suddenly I am going to be pretty much at the mercy of like marish superiority people, like supremacists. So I think as much as the Nords are Nord supremacists, they are also not anti-human. They just kind of want Skyrim to belong to the Nords.
We want our space.
It sucks, and a lot of them are racist and terrible, including some of the highest up ones.
Yeah.
Like, I want to say, like, I get it. You guys have been dominated by the Imperials for so long, and the White Gold Concordat has told you that you can't worship the most important of your pantheon, which is Talos. So Talos worship is not legal. The White Gold Concordat has pretty much put you under the thumb of the Empire in the least beneficial way possible for you. Of course, you're going to want people who aren't Nords the fuck out of Skyrim, as much as you are a bunch of racists. So I'm going to join up with you. I joined up with the Stormcloaks, and we went and I just kind of fucked up the Imperials real bad.
Man, I love those missions of like the invading city missions.
Yes,
they're
you just
so
go.
fun.
You go into a fortress or like a town, and you just fucking kill everybody. And there's like a little percentage counter going down.
Yeah.
So I'm there with like I have a whole bunch of Daedric artifacts and weapons because I'm pretty far into them. I'm like level 50 at this point. So I have a whole bunch of Daedric artifacts, and I have like pretty strong armor, and I have really decent stats in pretty much everywhere, including magic. So and I have my companion who's a mage. It's Marcurio, so he's got like really good magic stats. So we're just going around fucking up these entire armies with this, and that's really fun, I have to admit. And I don't think I would have felt as good going into like towns, Nord-controlled towns, and killing a bunch of people who live in Skyrim.
I think the fun thing, like that game has a ridiculously high like replayability.
Yeah, totally
like
does.
you can just jump because like
especially if you like to roleplay.
It's kind of like GTA, and where it's like this is something I can jump in for a couple of hours and just make up scenarios in my there doesn't even need to be a quest line. I can just
or even like the most bare bones quest line is enjoyable because you can do it in a billion ways.
Yeah.
I'm part of the Dark Brotherhood, so I beat that Dark Brotherhood
Stealth and
campaign.
bow arrow all the way.
Yeah, exactly. So I have a crossbow from the vampire add-on, and I'm going around crossbowing all my victims as a Dark Brotherhood assassin, which is really fun. And I love the thrill of dressing up in the Dark Brotherhood clothes, sneaking to like a rooftop and sniping somebody. It's fucking cool.
You get that slow-mo camera and it just goes right in their eye and you're like, I did it.
Always feels fucking cool. So I love doing that. Yeah, there's like I think a debate going on right now amongst people whether or not games where you can make your own fun are as good as games that are a really directed and curated experience.
It depends what you're in the mood for.
And I think that really is the question. And there's a lot of times where I'm feeling like shit. Yeah. I just kind of want to let loose. And Skyrim is really therapeutic and really enables that quality in me. So I love that.
I find Skyrim's one of those for me. And like I said, GTA 5.
Oh, yeah.
Anything that's very open world and just like,
you can do just whatever.
Yeah.
It's
really fun.
I love going into like, I don't know, a fucking area that I've beaten already or something and just re-exploring it too. There's not a lot of variety in the environments in Skyrim, like especially within the dungeons, but there's a lot of shit that you can miss out on. Yeah. Or a lot of shit that you don't even realize you haven't done yet. Like I just started doing the lexicon quest because I never bothered to go all the way to that little island outside of Winterhold.
Oh, really?
And
so
go
you just got that.
So I just kind of started that
Yeah.
shit. So I went and I transcribed the lexicon in the big place, and then I went into Blackreach, and I'm like, oh, so this is what Blackreach is for, because I've been there a couple times, and I'm like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's scary. There's a lot of big bugs.
Man, when I found Blackreach the first time, it wasn't for a quest line or anything. I just stumbled upon it, and I was like, oh, this is the coolest fucking shit.
Hollow Earth real.
Oh, my God. Look at all these glowing mushrooms. Oh, there's the sun, but it's not the sun.
Yeah, it's fucking
wow.
creepy. Or there's all these fucking Falmer everywhere.
Yeah.
So now I'm going around harvesting the blood of different Marish races, which is kind of cool, I guess. Because I mean,
out of context,
I like them. I like some of the Mare. The only ones I don't like are the the Thalmor, who fucking suck. The high elves are assholes. But like the Bosmer are cool. The Falmer are monsters, but it's kind of the fault of the Nords.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I mean, I love the Dunmer. Morrowind is like my favorite fucking setting in almost any fantasy game ever. I love
I've
fucking
been
Morrowind.
replaying Morrowind a bit recently, actually.
So good.
It's
so good.
Jank.
It's jank
It's
as
really
fuck,
hard to go back to, but it's
there's
still fun.
so much lore. That game is like, Bethesda barely do lore shit anymore. Like Skyrim is the last time they had a game with heavy lore.
Yeah.
But just like looking at the difference between like Fallout 4 and Morrowind is like, wow.
Yeah.
You guys
Fallout
could have
4 was
fucked.
weak.
That game has fucking nothing in it. It's so barren.
It's
devoid of fucking purpose.
It's really weird. It could have been so good.
A lot of people complain about Fallout 3 being like, this is the Fallout game where like shit started going downhill, and I'm like, I kind of agree, because there's a lot of elements to it that are kind of like, but also it's like the first Fallout in 3D. There's growing pains, and then New Vegas came out and basically fixed everything that was wrong with it.
Because it was Obsidian, and then Bethesda was like, wait, give it back.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, no.
Well, we're going to do it. But then what they pooped out was just an immensely fucking boring standard game.
Yeah. Well, I feel the thing, too, the engine, say for Fallout 3, they were still getting used to it. Fallout New Vegas, I feel it was still very janky. It had the Bethesda jank. But I feel like it was in a time where it was like excusable.
Yeah, exactly.
For how big the game was.
It was huge and so detailed. It's such a detailed game. Actually, the world of difference in the detail between New Vegas and 3 is also pretty crazy, because
that's the thing.
The world building in New Vegas is so much better than Fallout 3's.
And where was I? Oh yeah, fucking so like. That jump was excusable, and like there's still bugs in New Vegas. It's still the Bethesda thing.
It's jank as fuck.
And then you got Skyrim, which was same engine, a little better, but still pretty buggy, and that was also excusable. But now I feel we've gotten to the point with 4 and Fallout 76. Yeah, it's just like
it makes me worried for Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah,
it makes me really worried.
And the space one.
Yeah, I don't even know if Starfield is that supposed to be an RPG?
Yeah, it's supposed to be Skyrim in space.
Skyrim in space. Yeah. I don't know how that's going to go.
Yeah.
I honestly I haven't given too much a shit about Starfield.
I mean, there's
the prospect of Bethesda doing a sci-fi game is cool.
Yeah.
But I don't trust Bethesda.
I mean, there's not enough to even go on right now. But if Fallout 76 is the example, it's not great.
Yeah, that fucking piece of shit is bad.
Yeah.
I mean, if we haven't made it abundantly clear already in like the last couple of episodes, just how honestly fucking bad 76 is as like a product to sell to people. I
feel like
game.
Collectively we've got an entire podcast episode that is just Fallout 76. If you take all the mention of it throughout our life cycle so far.
True, for sure. That would be like at least a good hour and a half.
Yeah.
And that game is a fucking disappointment. But yeah, I don't know if I trust them to make a good new Elder Scrolls. And I want a new Elder Scrolls so badly. I'm even going to play that shitty little mobile one when it comes out.
Oh, God.
Because
I forgot that was happening.
I honestly have such a taste for Elder Scrolls that I want
the lore
as
in the
much.
fucking universe is really rad.
It's so good. It's one of the most like, at least in terms of gaming, but even in terms of fantasy in general, one of the most like meticulously crafted fantasy worlds I've ever had the pleasure of experiencing. I love the fiction surrounding the Elder Scrolls. I love these different cultures. I love that it has like such a lived-in history, like a real history.
Yeah.
And the games are so chock full of lore and interesting characters.
Fucking fun characters.
Really fun characters. And even like the janky shit is great.
It's
like I
so
love the
funny.
jank in Skyrim.
Oh my god.
It's half of the game is experiencing something fucking fucked up. Like when I was playing this week, I was going through the volcanic fields there in the, I think it's Southern East March.
Yeah.
And yeah, right before the rift, where it's all just like the old volcanic like plateau.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just fucking walking through, and I don't know how the fuck it happened, but like a saber cat went fucking flying past my head. I saw him kind of in the corner, and I was just kind of edged away from him, and he wasn't coming. And I guess Mercurio fucking hit him with a lightning spell.
Maybe.
But he went fucking flying right by my head, and I got it on video.
The fucking first time I played, I was going to Whiterun for the first time,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, and I wandered off to where the giants are on the outskirts, and just got hit. One shot killed, and like the physics bugged out and just shot me to the sky. Because that was an early bug that they patched out later. But the giants would just smack you, you'd die, and the physics would make it that your body just fucking rockets out. It was so funny.
That's really fucking funny.
It was great.
Woo! Fuck.
Oh,
That's
man.
good.
It was good.
Oh, man. Yeah, even the jank is good. I'm so worried for Elder Scrolls 6. Hopefully... And I'm worried about where they're going to set it to. I hope they don't set it in fucking, like, Cyrodiil again.
Yeah, I mean, it's super unclear. It was just a title card over
I'm thinking
patch.
they're going to send us back to, like, High Rock or maybe even Hammerfell.
Yeah, I feel like Elsewhere would be cool.
Elsewhere would be a really good... Or, like, honestly, the entire Aldmeri Dominion. Like, if you could do...
Yeah.
If they're going to set it in the present times, set it the same time as Skyrim, but set it inside the Aldmeri Dominion... And make you since it's a next gen game, you can go to the Somerset Isles, or you can do Elsewhere. You can go to where is it that the fucking Mirkwood? Marsh. Fuck the.
I know what you're talking about. The
Black Marsh,
yeah.
where the Argonians live. Yeah. If you could just go to like Black Marsh and also to Elsewhere and. Maybe even Hammerfell, that'd be really nice. Although that's a pretty big setting because it's like the Alakir Desert is fucking huge. But
that would be like a whole game.
That would be neat.
Itself.
Or if we do go to High Rock, could we do like an Orsimer type campaign, like a big story with Orsinium, like the city? That would be fucking cool. But I don't know. Hopefully they do something interesting.
Yeah.
The cool thing about setting it in like Elsewhere and setting it in Black March and also in the Somerset Isles is that it would be like a tropical kind of setting almost, because a lot of that shit is very like
I feel like
subtropical. Yeah.
If they said, I feel like Black Marsh could be a DLC thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like it would be better as a DLC thing, honestly.
Maybe. I don't know how big Elsewhere is. I don't think it's a very big province.
Well, because like just from what I've read about in-game on Black Marsh is that it's like very poisonous swamps and shit. So
it's all like jungles.
Yeah, as a whole.
And Elsewhere is kind of both.
Yeah, as a whole game, if you're not playing as Argonian without the poison resistance, you'd be at a immediate disadvantage.
That's true. That would kind of blow.
Yeah. Whereas if it's a DLC campaign, you can kind of work around it.
Yeah, that would be cool. I would really like to see like a genuine campaign set in Hammerfell.
Yeah,
that would be really cool. I want like a fucking Redguard focused campaign that isn't like that shitty Elder Scrolls Redguard game they made like in the fucking 90s, which is the most jank shit I have ever seen.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
So there's 2 Elder Scrolls games between I think.
Is it Arena?
No, because that's the first game. Elder Scrolls Arena is
true.
the first.
Yeah.
Then there's the one that's like it's like set in Oblivion, and it's like you're in a tower and you're fucking going through like some realm of Oblivion and you're a mage. And then there's one called Redguard where you play like a Redguard Corsair, and it's like really bad. It looks like fucking garbage. It plays like garbage.
Oh, the 90s.
I think that came out after Daggerfall. Yeah, it was like
that's the one I'm thinking.
Yeah, so the first two are Arena and Daggerfall, and then there's these two spin-offs in between, and then Morrowind.
Okay, so kind of like Fallout 1, 2, Tactics, Fallout 3.
Yeah, exactly, except it's two fucking spin-offs instead of just Tactics.
Because they made more money.
Yeah. Tactics is all right, though. It's not great, but it's
it's
playable.
Early XCOM.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's just XCOM set in the Fallout universe. It's all right. It's not the worst game I've ever played.
No.
It's not the worst RTS I've ever played, hands down. I've played so many bad RTS games. That one wouldn't even come close. But, yeah, I don't know. So that's kind of what I did apart, like game-wise, and then show-wise. I mean, I watched more Titans.
Yeah.
Yay.
Don't go too deep into it because I'm catching up slowly. If I didn't have the funeral on the weekend and if it wasn't crazy week, I would have caught up today. That was actually what I was gonna plan. That's actually what I was planning on doing today, was just catching up before the podcast.
Yeah.
But
and then
I ended up having to go into work, so I'm still behind.
But needless to say, last episode was great. Some big climactic shit occurred in it, and I am very excited to see what the last episode is going to be like, because the last episode is focused. It's called Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
And it's focused exclusively on Dick's relationship with Batman.
Yeah, and the fucking we can just kind of delve in onto it a bit.
Yeah, the trailer came out for that last
docket.
episode.
Yeah, it looks fucking good.
Yeah, it looks really amazing. The way they're playing, they seem to be setting Dick in like a scenario where he has to catch Batman.
Yeah,
and
Batman's gonna kill the Joker.
Exactly, so he's gonna go fucking kill the Joker. I think the Joker crippled Jason Todd, but he's not dead.
No, he's in a wheelchair.
He's in a wheelchair, and he killed Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah.
So he's gone off the deep end, and he's going to go kill the Joker, and Dick and the GCPD are hunting him down before he does. And it's just kind of like Batman's on a warpath. All the way that they show him in the trailer is he's like in shadows, or he's like jumping out a window.
Facing away
from the camera. And he looks fucking intimidating. The costume looks really a lot kind of like kind of a mix between the Arkham costumes and like the Dark Knight costume. Yeah. It looks very practical. Yeah. But he's kind of jumping around and doing the kind of shit that like the Affleck Batman is doing, where Affleck's like a really physical Batman, and they do a bunch of like special effect shit with him. Yeah. Like in the opening scene of Justice League.
Is there an actor slated for Batman yet?
There is no actor listed for the character. I think what they're going to do is they're going to keep Bruce Wayne kind of obscured until they cast an actor, because that's what they did. They did that in Supergirl too with Superman. For the first season, he's in a couple of things, like he does shit occasionally, but you never see his face, and it's always like he's in a flashback, and it's like there's the flashback of him finding Kara in like her crash Kryptonian pod, and like sticking his hand out, and his face is kind of obscured because she's like waking up from like cryo sleep, right? Yeah. And then I think that's kind of what they're doing here, where like you see Bruce Wayne and see him from the front, but he's kind of like sitting there like in the shadows, and then you see Batman with his face kind of turned away from the camera. But I'm wondering if they're going to introduce this actor after he premieres in the show. Yeah. So that's what I'm really excited to see what happens.
Is it gonna? Because it'd be weird, but I guess they can do it if like they don't. Hold on. Like, if the actor they cast for Batman in Titans isn't in the DCU movies, isn't that kind of strange?
No,
but it's a separated universe.
It's a separate universe. Yeah. The good thing about DC's like media at this point is that with like their popular television shows, they have established a multiverse. Yeah. Like even the shows that take place and cross over with each other don't take place in the same universe. Like Supergirl is from Earth 38, and there's no. There is a Batman on Earth 1 where like the Flash and Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow are all from.
But it's a different Batman.
Exactly. It's not the same Batman, and also he's different from the Batman on Earth 38 where there is also a Batman, but he's friends with Superman. Mm-hmm. And on this other one, there's no Superman, and Batwoman is taking over what Batman was doing. So there's like a whole bunch of kind of like points like that they and it shows you like these are distinctly different from like the comics where everybody's there and it's like nothing is wrong, or like even the DC EU movies, for as like kind of not great as most of them are.
Yeah.
It's clearly like a separate universe with like its own sequence of events, and Superman is more brutal and Batman is more brutal and violent and he uses guns and he's, you know, kind of fucking shitty.
It's crazy.
Yeah, he's one of the most fucking off the chains Batman ever. He's fucking crazy. And you know, Wonder Woman has been around for 100 years but gave up being a superhero apparently, and like all this shit. And Aquaman, which I still, you know, the movie's coming out today, I think, or something.
Oh, I thought it was out. Oh no, it's reviews that have been.
Yeah, reviews have been coming out, which I can't wait to see it. It looks really good, and it apparently is, which is nice. Almost all of the movies I've wanted to see are getting great reviews.
Yeah.
The new Mary Poppins has gotten very good reviews. Bumblebee has like sitting at a 93 on Rotten Tomatoes,
which is surprising as fuck.
Yeah, and cool.
Spider-Verse is fucking up there.
Spider-Verse is, people have already called it like the best movie of the year. Like, and of course there's Aquaman, which people are saying is like, it's nice to see somebody whose opinions on movies I really admire and kind of tend to side with, though not always. I don't always agree with him on stuff, but David Sims, who's the film critic for the magazine The Atlantic, and he's also one of the two hosts of Blank Check, which is one of my favorite movie-related podcasts. He called Aquaman, like, not only did he say, you know, if you had told me I'd like an Aquaman movie, I'd have not believed you. Yeah. He said that this is something like the Wachowskis would have directed. And I know the Wachowskis are kind of an acquired taste for a lot of people, but I pretty much love everything that they've done. I love their big, dumb, stupid nerd movies. Yeah. Like, I like even the bad Matrix sequels, and I like Cloud Atlas, and I even like Jupiter Ascending, which is not a good movie, but I love it. Like, I like big, stupid, dumb, high concept fantasy and science fiction, and this is apparently what Aquaman is.
You know?
No, exactly. It's exactly my kind of schlock.
Yeah, exactly.
So this Aquaman is like apparently what a good Wachowskis movie can be like, and I'm like, that sounds great. Like they said this is kind of a big, ambitious, visually interesting fantasy science fiction movie with a neat setting and kind of interesting characters. It's very comic booky and very earnest, and I'm like, that kind of sounds like everything I want a DC movie to be. Because DC movies, I like it that the Marvel movies kind of have a bit of a realistic edge to them. Like, I like the aesthetic of the MCU, even though some people will call it boring. I think it's aesthetically different enough from the comics that it makes it interesting for me, because I'm familiar with all the shit from the comics, and I'm like, I don't mind seeing a bit of an aesthetically more grounded MCU. Yeah. Whereas the DC movies, I'm like, DC never works well grounded. Like, I do not.
It's too ridiculous.
Yeah. I do not like the Nolan Batman movies. I think they take themselves too seriously. Yeah. And I think that with the exception of The Dark Knight, the world always feels very empty and boring. And I really, really do like that most of the appeal of DC for me comes from it being pure escapist fantasy. Like, it's straight up fantasy, science fiction. When they do a big, dumb event comic with like lots of space fights and shit, like, I love that shit. Like, I just eat it up. Yeah. So I like big, dumb space fantasy sci-fi stuff, and this seems like it's going to be that. So I'm excited to go see Aquaman. But yeah, there's just like a whole bunch of cool shit TV wise that I could have watched that I didn't.
Yeah. it's the holidays. No one's got time for nothing anymore.
Exactly. Now, what about you?
My week was the funeral. That was a time. What else? I played more Bravely Default because that's where I am in my life. Very late to the JRPG game.
Late to the game. Gamer joke.
My anaconda don't want none unless you've got games. Anyway, I saved the Lost Boys from the meth mines.
Yeah, pretty much. The child mine.
Yeah. Saved them, and then one of them escaped and went to go save the fire vessel or whatever, but she's already dead. Yeah. Yeah, so I got him from, I forget what the area is called, but where you fight Poison Man.
Oh, the little fortress?
Yeah, the
blades,
the sword
fortress?
blades, sword bearer.
Sword bearers.
Yeah,
yes.
sword bearer fortress. That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, saved him. Tried to beat Poison Man. Got fucking wrecked.
Oi.
And then started falling asleep while playing, and was like, "This isn't helpful." So I went to sleep. And that's where I am now on Bravely Default. Still kind of crawling.
Eisenberg is a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
It's a long area in the game.
It's because it's like,
and you're
all
kind
right,
of isolated there.
Go over there. Go over there. Oh, I got the performer asterisk.
Oh, yes.
So I did do that.
Have you been using it?
No, not yet.
I like the name of the performer, Praline à la mode. I'm like,
God.
wow, you fucking...
Yeah.
Of course. The Japanese love French
so
culture.
Much.
They are obsessed with it.
Right in the France.
Yeah, exactly. Right in the France.
Right in the France.
Right in the France pants.
Oh no. So yeah, I did that. Me and my lady watched Hide and Seek, which is a...
You can talk about it.
I don't know how.
Oh, okay.
Because I read the description of it.
I don't mind being spoiled if it's interesting enough to talk about.
It's because like half of it is going in blind, and that's what makes it good. And if I talk about it too much, it'll kind of ruin that.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, I don't think we're gonna really go too deep into it. It's just kind of a funny, stupid. Anyway, I'll talk about it. So the Netflix description was like, 1 year after a horrible Christmas party, all these people are kidnapped and thrown into a mall and tortured by serial killer Santa Man.
Okay.
Immediately it was like, all right, we're doing this.
Killer Mall Santa?
Movie starts. It's like a Bollywood horror movie.
Whoa.
But, like, not a musical. It's just... I don't know how to describe it. It is the weirdest thing.
So it's an Indian movie from India.
Yeah.
Okay.
But with, like, songs. But not musical songs, but just, like, there are dedicated song sections.
Okay. Well, it's a Bollywood movie. That's what most Bollywood movies are like. There's a lot of singing.
There's, like, one scene where one of the guys does cocaine, and he's just kind of going, whoa, and, like, leaning back in his chair, and his eyes are, like, fluttering.
Is it an Indian cast?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's all Indian.
Is it set in America?
No.
It's set in India?
Yeah. And they're like, the other funny thing is they're half speaking Hindu and half speaking English. So there's some subtitles and then there's other things that are in English, and it's like super hard to follow.
Yo.
It's super funny. But they'll say like a dramatic thing and it'll be like, oh, but I know that you like slept with my sister or something, and just dramatic zoom ins of like almost Office-esque, like looks at the camera. It's so bad in the best ways so far. We haven't finished it yet. I expect it to be disappointing, but it's such a fun ride.
That sounds amazing, actually. I'm kind of interested.
The scene with the cocaine is super funny because like the dude does it and he's laying back in his chair and fluttering, and there's just like a fade-in of an eagle flying. And it's just like, what?
Man, I don't think Coke's ever made me see an eagle.
Yeah.
That's fucking
it's
funny.
It's so good.
That sounds great. I want to watch this.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
I love ridiculous Indian movies.
I was so surprised because I was expecting like a just B-list slasher movie of people in a mall being tormented by a Santa Claus. And I got that, but so much more.
That's crazy.
So I watched that.
Wow.
I'm still watching Zombieland Saga.
Yeah.
I haven't talked about it in a couple episodes, but it's still good. It's still really good.
Man, if I don't really like idol shows, and I am enjoying this.
I fucking love it so much. I was surprised.
Well, it's really human for a show about zombies.
It's crazy. I think the last episode, Sakura? Yeah, Sakura. I think that's her name. I can't remember right now. But she gets hit by another truck.
Oh.
Yeah. And she gets amnesia right before a really big show.
Oh, no.
And that's where it left off. And I haven't... I think that might have been... That's the last one I watched anyway.
Oh.
So yeah, she was also super nervous about the net show. And now she has amnesia and can't remember anything.
Oh.
So that'll be a fun little season.
That shit's good.
Mm-hmm. I love that show. Really I'm also still reading ahead in JoJo. JoJo remains good. I'm almost done now. I think I'm at like volume 15 of
Okay,
17.
so yeah, so you're pretty close to the end. Yeah.
What else did I do? I'm trying to pack my week a little more. We can talk about JoJo more when I finish.
Yeah. Okay.
Part 5. We'll have a little chit chat.
I want to talk about that because
Yeah.
I like the ending of Part 5 a lot.
I'm gonna see.
I think the second stretch of Part 5, like the everything past kind of that first little bit of the story, because it
after
really has
Crimson King comes in, you're kind of like
it has the two distinct halves, right?
Yeah.
But once you get into that second half of the story, that is what makes it. I mean, I like the characters, but the tension and drama, at least when reading the manga, isn't as there in the first half of the series.
Yeah.
And then,
well, I mean, the first half is more like, hey, look at
spoilers.
these fun gangsters doing
exactly.
gangster
The
thing.
Gangstars.
And then
I
it
think
all goes south very quickly.
The second Polnareff comes into the story, and shit kind of starts.
Yeah, I'm not there yet.
Okay.
I knew that happened.
Yeah.
I saw that panel and I was like, fuck.
Shit starts like that, and it's really good. It's really good.
I'm fucking hype.
You're gonna have a good time with this. So I really enjoy Part 5.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite part, but it's nowhere near. It's probably one of my least, to be honest.
Oh, really?
But I still like it because
I'm enjoying it quite a bit.
Even the worst JoJo
is the best.
Is the best.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like Part 1 is kind of boring and dumb. But it's still the best shit ever.
Yeah, it's so hype.
You fucking kidding me? Like,
kill those vampires, JoJo.
It's just boring and dumb when compared to the rest of JoJo.
Yeah.
You know? Well, and then Part 2 is
when you're comparing JoJo to JoJo.
Yeah. Like part 3 seems like basic bitch shit.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
Yeah, once like where I am in Part 5, it's just like, whoa. But Part 3 stands don't even fucking come close.
Exactly, but then you sit down and you reread or rewatch Part 3 and you're like, yeah!
Yeah.
So it's like fucking all of it is good.
Yeah.
The craziest bits in JoJo, the most like alienating parts ever, amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I think my favorite is just like Part 3, the world. Oh, that's so overpowered. He stops time for a couple seconds. Like, get to King Crimson, you're like, oh, that's a problem.
Yeah. When people thought Kira's powers were a fucking problem, how about
to be fair,
whose powers are so OP and complicated they literally can't even be described?
Yeah. Bites the Dust is pretty bad, but it is just Groundhog Day, and like if he didn't get hit by the fucking ambulance,
like they know how the power
fine.
works.
Yeah.
Once they figure out how it works,
yeah,
it doesn't make it any easier to fight them, but they figure it out.
Yeah. And that's like the JoJo formula is like, what's his power? I don't know. We figured it out. Beat him.
Exactly.
But with King Crimson, it's like, what's his power? It does this. How?
And then how do we avoid that? You can't. Like, it's
guess I'll die.
Yeah, pretty much. There's almost no way to properly describe how King Crimson works. You have to.
I want to see an interview where Araki gets asked how he came out. Like,
I mean, the big meme in the community is it just
works.
It just does.
Works.
Because, and I don't know if it's because Araki didn't properly establish it enough, or if it's because he really didn't go in writing the power thinking about what its limitations could be.
Yeah.
But either through the fault of Araki underwriting the explanation, or just the fact that the power itself is so mind-bogglingly ridiculous
that it just cannot be explained.
Yeah. It's just one of those kinds of things where you're like, okay, like I'll just accept that this is going to happen, because if I don't, the rest of the shit is like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So, the JoJo's good.
JoJo's good.
And the Part 5 anime continues to be really good.
It does.
And it's going through it really quickly.
Yeah, actually, the Naransi fight kind of went on a little longer than I thought
they
were going to make.
They did it like 3 episodes, which is not typical JoJo, to be honest. They usually go through in maybe 2
That's the thing. And that's where I'm kind of like, that's weird. How are they going to do the next couple of fights? Because the next couple of fights are pretty long, too.
They are.
With Purple Haze and...
I'm wondering if they're going to do them all at once. Separate fights.
Maybe.
Because they have the separate teams.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they're going to do them simultaneously, and then that will mean that they can do them in increments of like 2, and then 3 episodes, and you've got like the 3 fights out of the way.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe.
They might do that. I'm hoping that they find a way to move through the series briskly.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of a longer JoJo.
It is. It is a longer one.
It's not as long as some of the later parts, but it's compared to the rest of it right now.
Yeah.
It's been like part 4 is long.
Yeah.
Part 4 is a very long part of JoJo, and there's a lot of tangential shit and just a lot of slice of life stuff in it too.
But it's that. Oh, that's why I love.
But that's
part 4
exactly.
So much.
That's some of my
So
favorite
good.
stuff in that series. But it is long. Part 5 doesn't have the slice of life stuff, but it's got a lot of shit.
Yeah, it's got a lot of stands.
Exactly, a lot of
fans.
fucking stands. Yeah.
White Album is gonna be fucking cool.
Some of those fights, I have honestly never been able to interpret how cool or bad they were.
Yeah.
Because the art in part 5 is like a little messy.
Yeah, it's not clean.
Yeah, it's one of the more unclear JoJo parts where like some of my favorite things about Araki is like the clarity of his artwork occasionally, but this is not one of them.
Yeah, no, part 5 is not one of them. Because
Yeah.
all the stand powers have this kind of.
They're esoteric.
Yeah.
They get more esoteric and harder to kind of represent on
Yeah.
a static image. Like some stuff is just like
Yeah. Well,
You're
I mean,
reading it,
just the stuff with. Well, I mean, White Album's not gonna be too hard because
No,
it's just
that's
gonna be ice moving around.
Yeah,
and shit,
that'll be
but
good.
like Babyface.
oh
It's
yeah.
gonna be a weird one to animate.
That is going to be really weird. It's going to be very, very weird. But I
Yeah.
can't wait to see how they do it because they've been doing it so well.
They've been doing it justice.
Like, even the most
David
esoteric and
Productions has
strange
just
things.
been. I'm really excited for the new OP.
Yeah.
And also the sound effect that will inevitably come with King Crimson's.
That's true because
The
that's,
world has the.
Yeah.
So.
And then Bites the Dust has kind of got its own sound going
Yeah.
for it too, where it's kind of like
Yeah.
kind of like a rewind. Yeah.
A very.
So this shit has the potential to be fucking awesome.
Yeah, I'm super hype.
Yeah.
That went back into Nier Automata a bit. That game continues to be fucking mind blowing and super amazing. And it's kind of scratching. It's not a character action game, but it's kind of a character.
It plays enough like a good character action game.
I feel like but this maybe.
Not entirely, of course,
no,
but
because it's not
it's
Oh,
level
close.
based and there's no style meter or anything.
yeah, exactly.
But no,
You're not being rated on how fucking good your moves were.
yeah, it's scratching the Devil May Cry 5 itch
Mhm.
that is very present in my life.
Yeah,
And
it's
I've
got
also-
that Platinum Games
Yeah.
shit going for it.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing. I'm on ending A, B, C, D, C and D, and then E is the biggest final one. So I'll probably have a lot to say about that once that's over. And I actually played so much fucking shit this week. Jesus. Monster Hunter World. I'm finally going in because of the Iceborne announcement. There's a big pack coming up soon.
Really?
Yeah, it's going to be a whole new map and probably a bunch of new monsters. Nargacuga's coming back, which is like a cat dragon monster. It's really fucking rad.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, Monster Hunter World's doing good things.
That sounds fun.
And it is a game that desperately needs to up its monster list because as a hunting game, I think there's only like 11 monsters or something like that in the vanilla base, and it's
Really?
like, yeah, it's a
11?
little rough. It's a little short on monsters.
Wow, I
Yeah.
didn't think that would be an issue.
Nope.
It's not something I heard anybody talking about.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, it's a little short on monsters.
Okay, that's really odd. Actually,
Which yeah,
it's not
which
an
is weird.
impression.
But
that
I mean,
had.
it's. I think the reason it's short on monsters is because it is a much bigger.
It is a
open
big game.
It's not a
yeah.
3DS game that they're shoving everything into and then shipping out.
Yeah.
And then you have your event quest. This is more of a like, here's this, here's the DLC, here's the other DLC. We got work to do. So I think
it's a game perpetually in development.
I think it's gonna be a like Monster Hunter World 2 is not gonna come out.
Yeah,
for like
okay.
A while.
Well, that's
They're
going to
just
be
gonna keep
crazy
updating
when it
this.
does.
Yeah. And besides that, that's pretty much my week.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's been
It's
we always say we didn't do too much, and then we're like, oh, well, we did
Well,
do
actually,
these like 2 or 3
so
things.
much fucking shit this week. Because I stayed up way later than I should.
Yeah,
Stay
I did too. I've been staying up late, half because I'm studying and half because I'm just goofing off with my Discord pals.
Right. We can dive into news, I believe, now.
Do we want to hit the big sad one first, just to get it out of the way?
Yeah, let's get it out of the way.
So, the Super Best Friends, who I guess if you're not familiar with who they are, were a very popular Let's Play channel.
Podcasters too.
Podcasters too. Formerly 4 members, ever since a year ago 3, have officially disbanded. So they are pretty prolific. I mean, they've been around for about 8 or so years.
Yeah.
So just a couple years short of a decade.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been doing this YouTube shit for a long time. They had a contract with Machinima a long time ago, and
back in the beginning.
They used to post stuff on Machinima, and that was where I first started seeing their content. Back then, it was just Matt and Pat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was. I think I must have been about 14 or something when I first saw one of their videos, but I watched their Let's Play. I remember distinctly the Let's Play. It was the Let's Play they did of the fucking Bear Grylls game.
Oh my god, yeah.
It was the first ever Super Best Friends I ever watched, and it was some chuckle fucks that I was friends with at school were watching it on like the big like projector screen with nobody else in the room, and I went and sat in and watched it with them, and that was pretty cool. It was like a ped day, but we had to be at school because we were part of the improv team, and so during lunch
just got to dig around.
Yeah, exactly, because it was like it was like an open house for the school, so it was like lunch for everybody at one time. So as everybody was having lunch, we got our lunch break, so everybody went to go eat with them, but we stuck around in the room and watched these guys on the big screen.
Yeah.
And that was pretty rad. It was my first exposure to them. It was really funny. I followed them afterwards. Like, I made a YouTube pretty soon afterwards, and I followed them on there.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, really enjoyed their content. I've just kind of been consistently watching them for the last 7 or so years.
Yeah.
And
I've been watching them for a minute too. We clearly kind of stole their podcast formula.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been listening to I think I listened to more episodes of their podcast than I actually ever watched their videos. To be fair.
Well,
and I watched a lot of their LPs.
The thing that I realized, I think about a year or 2 ago, I was working nights at a bread factory, and like I was like, I never fucking play video games. I don't know why I don't fucking play video games. And I realized I was just watching their Let's Plays, and like you kind of forget that's a time sink.
Yeah,
like it's an episode of a show. It's like hour and a half, or like it's 30 minutes that you could be playing a game or something.
Exactly.
And like I just binged that, and I was like, wait, no, I need to like. I want to play games.
Yes.
So, like, I watched the episodes occasionally, but I didn't binge entire Let's Plays anymore.
Yeah, that's the reason that I stopped being hot on a lot of Let's Play content. I mean, apart from just a lot of it kind of starting to become very similar, and some particular Let's Players just becoming less and less charming, and the videos becoming longer.
Yeah.
Like I
jokes and.
Yeah, exactly. Like I check out usually about midway through a lot of LPs.
Yeah.
But like with the only people I've been consistently watching were the Super Best Friends and Game Grumps. Yeah. Because Game Grumps, it's like a 10-minute dedication, and you just pick a game that you want to watch them play. Mm-hmm. You don't have to watch all of them. And the same thing with the Super Best Friends. I just like, oh, I'd love to see what Matt and Woolie's insight on this game is.
Yeah.
I want to see Liam geek out over it, and I want to see Pat get mad at it.
Yeah.
You know? Like, they were doing right before Liam left. They were doing Sonic Unleashed, and that was a fun time for me.
God.
Watching them play like what is like a really frustrating and ridiculous game. You know,
what a fucking game.
Yeah, so that's kind of I loved watching them do like a deep dive on a JRPG because I think they played a lot more JRPGs than a lot of Let's Play channels.
Yeah, they did a lot of Final Fantasies.
And they did like funny Western RPGs, like they did. Omicron, the Nomad Soul.
Yeah, Omicron.
Which is like fucking.
That's one of my favorite LPs in like the world. I think.
Yeah, it's really funny. That game is a very weird, jank, bad Euro crap game.
Do you want an adventure game that is also a fighting game that is also a mess?
Yeah, that is also like cyberpunk weird and also has David Bowie in it.
Oh my I was just about to say. Also, do you like David Bowie? Because
and it's made by David Cage. So that was kind of so it's kind of disappointing to hear that they've disbanded. Although I think both of us we have our speculations and thinking of as to why they would have.
Yeah, and it is understandable.
Yeah.
If a thing that you do becomes not fun anymore and you hate it, and
Yeah.
you don't want to do it anymore for whatever reason.
Especially if you have other shit that you'd rather be doing.
Yeah, if you have other things, if it's a time sink that is unnecessary when you could be putting your effort, like energy, into something you find more
exactly
productive and like fun.
I think that by the end of it, it was pretty clear that Matt enjoyed making content, like producing content, and Pat
retrospective
content. Pat clearly was more comfortable streaming.
Yeah.
And Wooly,
I feel the podcast was a common ground.
Yeah, exactly. They all seem to be enjoying that. Yeah. But the last couple of episodes, one or two or more people have been absent, and they've filled in with a guest or with nobody. You know, so I don't even know if that's the case. I mean, you see now Matt's not going out and doing a podcast.
Yeah.
But Wooly and Pat are staying and doing one themselves.
Yeah. So, which I'm excited to see what it's. I assume it'll probably just be the same.
Yeah,
thing.
It'll probably be fairly similar to the episodes they've done where Matt is not present.
Yeah.
But with maybe more like guest appearances from other people. But
call us.
I'm just TBH. But I'm just it's disappointing to know that a group of people who you really like their content and you really like them as a unit.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be making content together as much anymore is disappointing. It's even more disappointing to hear that, they might not even like each other anymore, which is the case between Matt and Pat from what Wooly says in the video where they announced they're splitting up. And I'm not going to lie, there was kind of like a mom and dad are fighting thing going on there that made me feel bad for Wooly.
I liked the part where Pat's like, when your three weird dads split up, it's like 3 Christmases.
Yeah, which is I think a good point. Like they're all still going to be making content. Like Matt's Flophouse channel it's been good. It's been really great. As
it's been running.
Yeah, he's made consistently enjoyable content. He's up there with like Stop Skeletons from Fighting.
Yeah.
And
he's fucking doing
and like
the thing.
Gaming Historian is making just like really solid content and seemingly effortlessly at that. Just solid video. Same thing with like Jeremy Parrish, if you watch his stuff. Like just consistently good game content every day, almost. And Wooly similarly has had a great run with his channel, Wooly Versus.
Yeah, he's doing the LP thing.
And he's good. He's good. His solo LPs are great.
Have you heard Wooly Will Figure It Out? His
new podcast, eh? Yeah. I've not listened to it yet.
It's pretty good. It got me to understand why I am the way I am, kind of.
Oh, okay.
With like projects.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because it basically just goes into being like, it's about failure and like how having an idea for something but never like actualizing it really sucks because you're too scared that it's gonna fuck up.
Yeah.
He's like, sometimes you just gotta shit something out and like just get it out, and like he's also like he says something about like, if you have a project in mind, like the best thing you can do is not really talk about it, because if you talk about it, you get that satisfaction and then you just don't really follow through.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah. You talking about it all the time but never doing it.
Yeah. So you get the people being like, oh, wow, that's cool. And you're like, yeah. And then you just kind of like,
Yeah, I get. You'd probably rather have them say, oh, wow, that's cool, after the content is out.
Exactly.
And that's a really good point about productivity, that it's not something I necessarily thought about before. So that's cool. I've not listened to it yet, but I'm going to have to give that a listen.
It's really good.
And I always liked Wooly's voice. He's got a very ASMR voice to me.
It's very nice.
So that's going to be it's going to be interesting seeing what kind of content the three of them put out individually.
Yeah. Well, I assume Flophouse is definitely not going to change.
Flophouse is going to be as it was.
Pat's still going to stream.
Yeah.
Wooly's still going to do his Wooly versus shit.
And he's going to do all the stuff with Pat.
Yeah. And he's got his own podcast, and he's still doing the podcast with Pat.
I guess the one thing I'm disappointed is they've put a halt on all their LPs.
The thing that bothers me the most is that we will never get Wooly and Matt finishing Kingdom Hearts.
Yes.
So we're.
Well, maybe we will.
Maybe
I don't know.
it could be a side project.
Yeah, I don't.
It'd be really cool.
I don't think.
But I don't think we're gonna see it for a while.
Yeah, I don't think Willie and Matt are on bad terms at all.
No.
I know that we're not gonna probably see Liam and Pat or Liam and Willie making content.
Liam and Willie.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Maybe they will. I don't think
Liam's on his Nier.
oh, that's true. That's
yeah.
true. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Liam's content's hard to keep up with because it's really long.
Yeah.
It's a lot of very
really
long
like his
streams. His streams are great though.
Yeah.
He's a very good streamer.
Yes.
Mr. Rising Super Streamer. But yeah, I'm interested
Our
to
three
see
weird dads got divorced.
It's kind of upsetting. It's upsetting because I've liked them for such a long time. It feels like something I loved is coming to an end. And
Yeah.
that's sad.
I mean, like, the thing for me is I never thought it would really happen, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
they seemed pretty set, but I mean, shit happens and stuff, so.
They were very straight about why it was
Yeah.
they're not doing content together
And, like,
anymore.
it's
They were
super
like, hey,
understandable.
exactly. Like, we're not having fun with each other anymore, and the business side of the relationship clearly eroded Matt and Pat's relationship. If that really is the case, it more than likely, I suppose, would be. I don't know why they'd not be straight about it, unless there's something weird, but I don't think there is. But yeah, like, just, when your working relationship with people who are your friends erodes the friendship,
Yeah,
it's not great. Yeah, you're not going to make good content after that. Enjoying each other's company becomes a chore, and that sucks. Nobody wants to do that to each other. So it sucks that it happened to them, and it sucks that it's discouraged them from making content together. But hopefully, there's a lot more to come from all of them, and that they see success, because they have been producing great.
I truly believe they will.
Yeah.
Their fan base is
it's
pretty in there.
Yeah, exactly. They've got a built-in fan base that's not probably going to let any of them leave. I'm sure a lot of their individual channels are going to see an uptick in views now.
Yeah.
And I mean, Matt is honestly like becoming one of my favorite content producers, because I never really thought of them as content producers. The podcast is content.
Yeah.
But I didn't really think of the LPs, because I don't think of LPs as online content. I don't think of streaming as online content. I think of it as kind of its own.
It's an entertainment format.
Exactly. It's a format of entertainment, but I don't consider it content.
Yeah.
Because it's not, the process is different from sitting down, writing a script, creating a video, editing a video. It's not the same.
It's more of a like live commentary over video game.
Exactly. It's kind of like, it's the difference between watching a talk show and watching a television show, like a scripted TV series. So it's just kind of a different different monster altogether.
Yeah.
But Matt has really slowly climbed to like become one of my favorite content creators. His got a whole
scripts
bunch
are solid, man.
Yeah, and he's got a whole bunch of great fancy editing on a lot of his stuff. I know he has a bunch of editors that do it for him, but they do a great job. He's got a whole bunch of running series like What Happened, which is really good. He's also got Edgelords, which I've been enjoying.
It's so fucking,
because it's very much his kind of content.
Shadow's the best.
And your shit too.
Yeah,
it really is. So that's really, really neat. And his LPs have been great so far. And I like the stuff with Crime Tina too. That's fun.
Yeah, Crime Tina, fucking the like fashion, the Crime Tina rates. The fucking JoJo All-Star Battle was one of my like top videos. It's fucking
really,
funny.
really fucking funny. So he's been putting out some great content, and his Godzilla video he did a little while back was insane.
Yeah, with Mother's Basement.
That was really, really good.
I like the Predators one too. He's killing content creating.
He's becoming very similar to Stop Skeletons from Fighting, and I like that channel, so I'm happy with this. And he's producing as consistently diverse and good content as Mother's Basement.
You know who isn't
making good
content?
Who's Legendary Pictures? Yeah,
Legendary Pictures is not making good content.
They're making bad content.
Terrible.
A bad movie.
Scary content.
So
we are talking about the Hellboy trailer,
Phooey.
which is full of slapstick early 90s comedy that would have worked in the early 90s.
Yeah, it's... You know the way that people said Venom reminded them of an early 2000s superhero movie? This reminds me of an early 2000s superhero movie.
Yeah.
And not in the flattering way where it's like, I kind of like the Daredevil director's cut. In like this is like, I'm almost like I'm watching the trailer for, I don't know, X-Men, The Last Stand.
Yeah,
Ghost
it's
Rider.
not great at all.
Yeah. It's disappointing. Because
it seems to be borrowing a lot from movies like Deadpool. I don't know about that.
I think R.I.P.D. is actually a great point of comparison if you remember what the fuck that is.
I have no idea what that is.
R.I.P.D. is a comic book movie based on the comic R.I.P.D., which is Rest in Peace Department, which is like a Heaven Police Department series.
Okay.
There was a movie a couple years ago with, I think it was Ryan Reynolds and Jeff Bridges.
What the fuck is Ryan Reynolds in all of these fucking movies?
It's Ryan Reynolds and Jeff Bridges, and they play kind of like, Ryan Reynolds is the recently deceased guy who's recruited into the R.I.P.D., and Jeff Bridges is like the wizened veteran.
Okay.
It is not a good movie. It is a bad action comedy, kind of in the vein of like Kick-Ass almost, except even Kick-Ass is marginally better. Even though Kick-Ass is, in like hindsight, kind of a repugnant and boring, ugly movie. It is a lot more watchable than R.I.P.D. R.I.P.D. is not a good film. This Hellboy movie looks like R.I.P.D. It's full of CGI monsters and full of kind of goofy self-referential humor.
Haha, he shot at me because he was afraid I'm Monster Man.
Yeah, and I think the shame is that, you know, had there never been a Hellboy movie previously to this,
I
would have said it could have been fine.
But Del Toro ruined it for everyone by making the best version.
Yeah, there are 2 Guillermo del Toro Hellboy movies, and they are both very good.
Yes.
They are long, epic adventure horror action flicks with lots of like action shenanigans that's typical of movies of the time, but also lots of beautiful special effects and production design as per you would expect from Del Toro. Lots of amazing character work from Doug Jones, Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman kills that fucking movie, man.
What's her name? Who plays Liz? Selma Blair.
Yeah.
Selma Blair. And I mean, you got John Hurt in those movies. You have even in the fucking second one, you have Seth MacFarlane turning in a not shit performance. You have like a whole bunch of interesting actors in your film, and I don't think this movie has the cast to back it up.
Yeah,
I think
that's the who's playing Hellboy again?
So Hellboy is David Harbour.
Yeah, okay.
David Harbour plays the police, like the sheriff in
Stranger Things.
He's
like I said earlier, it just kind of sounds like a cosplayer doing a Ron Perlman impression at a Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Sorry. And it's not to say that it's a bad impression.
Yeah, totally.
But it's like
it is really like, and I do feel this about David Harbour in general, and I was saying this to you before. He kind of feels like a C-list, you know, actor who is kind of like the C-list equivalent to Ron Perlman.
Yeah.
He's a big guy. He's kind of scary looking, kind of intimidating, but he's not as scary looking as Ron Perlman.
Yeah, Ron Perlman has the eyebrow thing going on.
Yeah, and he's got kind of like a really wrinkly forehead.
Yeah.
And he's got an interesting kind of deep voice.
Yeah, his voice is that bright. Oh.
Yeah, and David Harbour.
To sleep, Ron Perlman.
Like, if you were going to cast anybody else as Hellboy, David Harbour is not a bad choice.
No.
In fact, it's a good choice. Mm-hmm. But Ron Perlman previously played the character very well.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to see him as somebody else, you know?
Yeah.
It's not going to be the same, and he doesn't have the same kind of intimidating, I'm a big scary dude energy that was so great with Hellboy, because we know Hellboy's not actually a big scary dude. He's kind of a big nerd.
He loves kittens.
Yeah. He's a big dumb nerd.
Yeah.
And David Harbour doesn't seem like he's a big dumb nerd.
No, it seems like if Spider-Man and Deadpool had a weird demon baby.
Yeah, he actually does have kind of Spider-Man vibe going.
Yeah, it's kind of, it reminds me of Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, like kind of like
Spider-Man.
Every teen, every man.
Oh no, not a knife. My weakness.
Yeah,
Like,
that sort of humor.
Yeah.
Exactly. The sarcasm.
Yeah.
And there is a sarcastic edge to Perlman's portrayal of Hellboy. I mean, Hellboy in general, the character, is kind of a sarcastic guy.
Yeah.
But
Whoa, too close.
yeah. He's not
That's fine.
necessarily. That's not his whole thing. Like his shtick, I think, really is that he's a big, scary kind of dude. But in reality, he's just kind of like a nice guy.
Yeah.
And he likes his girlfriend, and he likes his friend Abe, and he likes cats.
Oh man,
And he's a bit of a geek, and he likes kind of stuff like that. And David Harbour is too much of like an everyman to be that niche of a character.
Yeah.
So it's kind of disappointing. But apart from Harbour's portrayal, which, like I said, I think we can agree it looks fine.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be the worst.
No, it certainly will.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yes, same here.
But I feel like there's gonna be moments of like, that's on the nose.
And there's a lot of just, I don't, like I said, the cast doesn't look like they're bringing it. You know,
Mila Jovovich over there.
Mila Jovovich is not a good actor.
No.
And I mean, I love the Resident Evil movies because they're dumb, stupid
They're
memes.
so dumb.
They're bad. They're really bad, funny movies. But I don't like Mila Jovovich as an actor.
No.
I don't like her as a performer. I think she's kind of boring. The most interesting performance she's ever given was The Fifth Element.
Yeah.
And that's forever ago, for fuck's sake. Like, kind of not the same thing. Like, all the movies she's done since were not directed by Luc Besson.
No.
So they didn't have that
also,
weird
all
Luc
her
Besson
characters
thing.
since then have been pretty much the same of like,
You're like a stone cold badass.
I'm badass lady and I will step on you. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
I'm into it, but
yeah. Mood. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, Mila Jovovich is not a great actor, so I don't have any faith that she's going to play a good or compelling antagonist.
Do you have any faith that Will Smith will be a better genie?
I don't know how. Okay, I have mixed feelings about this.
Big mixed feelings.
On one hand, how goofy is it that Will Smith is going to be playing the genie? The fuck, y'all. That's kind of wild. On the other hand,
I didn't even know this was happening.
The,
Why are they live actioning all the 90s?
Yeah. I mean, we kind of talked about the relatively consistent track record of these movies.
Yeah.
Like I've never watched a live action Disney that was bad.
Yeah.
Like I've watched some that were kind of like,
Death Note.
yeah, that's yeah. Like I said, even Maleficent, which I think is kind of a stupid movie, is not necessarily bad. It's fun, exactly. It's literally just a movie where you watch Angelina Jolie have fun playing like a sympathetic antagonist.
Yeah.
And that's kind of okay.
The evil lady not so evil after all.
Exactly. And I'm a stupid dumb bitch and I fall for that shit. Yeah. So I did.
Yeah, I know. Me too. I was like, oh, that's a good ending.
Yeah. And even Beauty and the Beast, as not great as it is compared to the original, has like redeeming stuff. Like I actually kind of like.
They did a good job recreating all the actual scenes.
Yeah, and I really like the music. I even like Emma Watson's not great singing voice. Like, I kind of like it. I'm not going to lie.
Did she have a not great?
It's not very good. Yeah, it's definitely an untrained singer.
Yeah.
But I don't mind that. It's definitely not like...
At least it was actually her and they didn't just get a different dub for the music.
That's true, which would be really distracting.
Yeah.
And I even like some of the additions they made. Like, I think that when we talked about it, I said, I like the songs they added.
Yeah.
I think I like Kevin... is it Kevin Costner? It is. Kevin Costner, right? It was Kevin Costner.
I think so.
No, it's not.
Not
Kevin Costner.
I don't think so.
No.
Anymore.
Kevin.
Oh, wait.
Kevin. No, it's not Kevin Costner.
No.
It was.
Hold on. And the best.
Booty and the Bestiality.
The Booty and the... Oh, no.
2017 film. So I don't...
David Haberman.
Kevin Kline.
Wait, what?
It's Kevin Kline.
Oh, yeah.
I like Kevin Kline as the dad. I think he was great.
He did it.
Yeah, Kevin Kline was Kevin Costner is not who I was thinking of. I don't like Kevin Costner at all, actually. It's Kevin Kline. I like Kevin Kline. He's a good actor. And I like him as the dad in Beauty and the Beast. But
yeah, Aladdin,
I don't know, man.
I think it'll...
First of all, there's a lot of ways they can fuck this up. Because let's be real, the Aladdin movie, like the original Aladdin, is kind of a racist movie.
Oh, boy.
And there's a lot of things to be said about it. I do like that the cast is made up of people of Middle Eastern descent, with the exception of Will Smith.
You don't know.
These two, the two actors, I know it's Naomi Scott, who is Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
And the guy who's playing Aladdin, I'm trying to remember his name.
In a whole new world.
Should be there maybe in the article.
Jessica Alba.
No.
Photo and scoop on. No.
It's I don't know. Does it say? It starts with an M.
This article's pretty much just being like, it's Will Smith. Will Smith.
Basically, the whole article is about Genie and nothing about the rest.
Yeah,
of the cast.
there's nothing about the movie. It's just holy shit. Here's Will Smith as the genie with the big poop on his head.
Yes. So Will Smith as the genie looks kind of weird. On one hand, he looks exactly pretty much kind of like what the genie looks like, except he's a man.
Yeah.
On the other hand,
he's got big poop on his head.
He looks like he has poo on his head. And it's kind of silly.
It is.
It's also very distracting that it's Will Smith.
Yeah.
Like, it's Will Smith's face, but he's got...
This is a story all about how my life got shoved into
a
golden lamp.
Yeah, an old-style oil lamp. He's got a goofy beard, a big kind of poofy goofy beard in a little ponytail.
Yeah.
And he's got a big goofy top knot on his head that
poop.
Looks like a poo. And that's not a joke. It really does look like a turd. And it's like, yes, this is literally exactly what the genie looks like in the original movie for the most part. Like, he has got a funny top knot and a little funny beard. But I don't think it's as distracting when it's a cartoon character.
Yeah.
Also, when that cartoon character isn't played by Will Smith, who has one of the most recognizable faces in Hollywood. It's a little bit distracting.
Yeah.
And I don't think that it's bad yet.
Well, I mean,
but it's not great either.
Well, what was it? I think it was in a Mother's Basement breakdown. Man, I talk about Mother's Basement a lot.
Yeah, he makes good content.
It was like talking about the Detective Pikachu thing, and he's like, we have all these big, like, Ryan Reynolds is a big name. It's just a CGI little mouse. He's not a front man or anything. It's just...
Yes.
And it's good because that makes it less distracting.
Yeah.
Because, like... As distracting as Ryan Reynolds' Pikachu is,
the voice is noticeable.
It's Deadpool, and it's like, at least it's not like Ryan Reynolds,
the man. Yeah,
because that would be like, this is just Deadpool in Pikachu land.
Yeah,
and I'm confused.
That would be really distracting. So yeah, that's on one hand. Yeah, like maybe this will be good. You know what? I think the music might sell it for me because I like musicals and I like listening to the soundtracks of musicals. Like, I haven't even seen the new Mary Poppins. It's coming out today as we record this. I have not seen it. I probably won't be seeing it until like this weekend. Yeah. But I've already listened to the soundtrack 5 times and I'm in love with every song and I know all of them by heart.
As you must be.
So that's like, I like musicals. I love the music aspect of them a fuck ton. And hopefully it's not a disappointing piece of garbage. Because
you know what's definitely not going to be a disappointing piece of garbage?
What?
Godzilla King of Monsters.
Yeah!
The second trailer came out.
And it looked good.
Earlier this week. Is good. They
good.
Doing my boy King Ghidorah justice.
Yeah, Gojira looks fucking amazing. Mothra looks fucking amazing. And I like that this trailer took a different approach from the first.
Yeah.
The first trailer I thought was beautiful, and it's one of my favorite trailers I've ever seen for a movie.
Yeah.
Because it gets across the grandiosity and beauty of these monsters just as much as it does the sheer fucking terrifying prospect of them existing, because their scale is so immense and the scale of the destruction they can cause is massive.
And like the first one doesn't. That's it. Like you get visuals, but this trailer really sets up just how fucking ginormous these guys are.
Oh my god, yes. Holy shit.
You got a big like boat for scale right beside Ghidorah.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh,
and you see like
that's a big boy.
You see them rising into the fucking air.
Yeah.
And the perspective of both of them, like big and huge, in the back is just all far back. You see like fucking like everything around them. It's crazy. Like you can see past the horizon line because they're so fucking big that's the scale you have to properly observe them at. And then like there's the visual of Rodan fucking coming out of a volcano.
Yeah.
And just
it's so strong.
Holy shit, it looks so good. The vision of Mothra kind of like there's just the scale of Mothra alone.
Mothra's crazy. Did you see that fucking post? I think it was a Twitter post, and it was just a screen cap, but there was like a model of what the Mothra in this movie is gonna look like, like a small scale one, and just a bunch of people were like, "Why do I want to fuck it?" And it's like, oh, stop. Her face is strangely human.
Mothra is my daughter. Don't you talk about her that way.
Don't touch my daughter.
I love her. We are friends. We are good friends, and I will not have you talk about her in such...
You will not stick your penis in my mom's
in such
daughter.
a disrespectful manner. She is a lady, and you will treat her right. But, yeah, Ghidorah looks fucking amazing. Rodan looks crazy. He looks like a big old burb, and I am happy.
The best boy himself looks really good, too. Godzilla's...
Oh, my God. Yeah. The design is still strong, because that design is great.
It's like one of the best ones.
It's a perfect compromise between Japanese Godzilla
and Godzilla.
American kind of Godzilla's more animalistic qualities. Because he's got the scale of Japanese Godzilla, and he's got the face, and he's got the spines, but he also has like proportions that I think would be closer to what a Godzilla's proportions would actually be like. You know, he's got kind of the tinier arms and the much bigger fucking body.
Like
he is
a scary T-Rex.
Yeah,
he's thick. Godzilla's thick.
And his tail is thick.
He's been in the gym under that ocean.
And Ghidorah is also thick too.
Yeah,
he's got
dog. Dude, Ghidorah's huge. Boy. I can't wait. Yeah. Ghidorah is one of my favorites. Yeah, I like. It gave me chills when I saw him. In this
yeah, for sure. And even I'm glad that they've got a nice little human cast going for them.
Yeah,
like they got
11.
Yeah, they got 11 from Stranger Things, and they've got
which is nice because that's gonna just sell some people who don't give a fuck
about Godzilla immedately on the movie.
Yeah,
because they like her. That's true. I think a lot of kids who've grown up the past couple years watching Stranger Things are very attached to that actor, and they'll go to see a movie with her in it.
I see you trying to jump.
But Godzilla King of the Monsters second trailer is just, they went all in with the visuals. Yeah. They showed you just half of the cool shit you'll be seeing in the movie.
And like, this is one of those movies where it's like, I don't even fucking care about spoilers. Give me.
I want to see the monsters fight.
I
want to see the big boys, and I want to see them have a rumble.
I want to see Mothra pick up Godzilla and toss him into a volcano.
And I want to see Rodan fucking fly over a city and have his tailwind wreck shit, because that's what happened in the first Rodan movie, and it's one of my favorite visuals in a tokusatsu movie ever.
Good.
It's so fucking good. So yeah, this is like, it's finally nice that Americans are doing toku movies right.
Yeah.
Like fucking Kong Skull Island
Pacific Rim
fucking kicks ass. Pacific Rim kicks ass. The first Godzilla, I don't care what anybody says, was great. I enjoyed it.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like we're at a point now where back in the early like 2000s, I guess, when people were just trying Jesus. Whew.
Tokusatsu.
I need to recuperate from my day. Tokusatsu shit. It was like Saban.
Yeah.
And just people that were like, take that Japan shit, just make it more America.
Yeah, like,
and like now it's more people that grew up with like actual Japan shit that are like, we can make this more our thing, but do it right.
Exactly. And there's some problematic aspects to like the first Godzilla movie. Like there is the slight implication with the story that like the nuclear tests in Japan or in and around the Sea of Japan and the Pacific Ocean were like, oh, this is just like them trying to kill Godzilla. And I'm like, that's a little whack.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the movie does do a pretty good job of showing just kind of how powerless people are in the face of Godzilla, and they really made him a threat.
Yeah.
I was thoroughly fucking terrified of the sequence in which he's fighting the Muto in Honolulu in the airport. That's scary.
Yeah.
That's really fucking scary. The whole Hawaii sequence is really scary. Like really fucking scary. That is terrifying. And they're on the tram and the tram is knocked off its rail.
It's
and
tram rail.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. There's like the rush of water coming because like him just going through the ocean causes like a mini tsunami. It's insane. Like that shit looked really good.
It sets up the scale.
Yeah, exactly. It really did the scale of these creatures justice.
These big fake giant monster boys.
So yeah, this movie looks like it's gonna continue doing more of the same and even more. And that's very exciting.
It does. It comes out in May, and I'm pretty much reserving my D-Bucks seat.
Yeah. Same here.
I want the big stupid like $30 movie ticket for this one.
Yep, absolutely. I love seeing monster movies in the theater. There's nothing like it. Kong Skull Island is still one of my favorite theater experiences.
I still haven't seen that.
Ooh, that movie is nerd shit.
Oh yeah.
That movie is anime, pretty much.
That movie is anime.
That movie is
I'm into
anime.
it.
It fucking is. It's directed by Jordan Voight Roberts.
Oh yeah.
He is like my biggest influence is Metal Gear. Like that's his aesthetic is I want to make the Metal Gear movie. Please Kojima-san.
Please Kojima.
And him and Kojima are friends.
Here's the trailer. No. Oh,
like there's a lot of great shit in it that looks like Sakuga. Like really does.
That's fucking sick.
That movie is fucking cool. Like not to spoil too much about it, but Kong uses weapons. He uses tools. If that shit sounds fucking cool,
Jesus Christ.
Only because it is.
He's a smart boy. I'm gonna have to check that out.
He straight up uses weapons in that movie. It's badass.
What do we move on to? Spawn might be in Mortal Kombat 11. That's pretty cool.
That makes you happy.
I'm so fucking stoked.
Spawn kicks in.
So yeah, like it's just kind of a rumor right now, unless something updated that I missed. But
it seems like it's pretty likely.
Todd McFarlane was on an AMA, and people were like, "So, Spawn coming to MK11?" He's like, "We're trying." Maybe
we're trying.
It's coming up.
You can't say no.
It's a DLC character.
Yeah, totally.
For sure.
Totally. But that would be great.
That gets me even more excited.
And MK always has crazy guests.
Yeah,
they
always had Freddy Krueger.
Freddy Krueger and Jason.
A Predator, I think.
They had Predator and a Xenomorph too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can. There's a whole bunch of wild shit. And I mean, they've, they make the Injustice games, and the Injustice games have Mortal Kombat characters in them, and a weird guest like the TMNT, which is fucking awesome.
So hype.
And Hellboy.
Yeah. Hellboy.
Yeah, Hellboy, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Raiden were all in Injustice 2.
Oh fuck! I saw.
That's insane to me.
I saw a thing. Never mind. I'll find it later. I don't even remember what I'm trying to say.
Crazy.
Yeah. So that. What is this?
Oh, this is something that I kind of found interesting. So I don't know if you're terribly familiar with what Hasbro's been doing with comics lately.
I am not.
So in the recent past couple of years, I want to say for the past almost a decade now.
Yeah.
Even more than a decade. For the past 12 years, Hasbro's kind of licensed its properties to different companies.
Mm-hmm.
But now IDW's run of the Transformers comic is coming to a close, and they've slowly been incorporating over the last couple of years more other Hasbro characters into comics, and they're setting up to do like their own shared Hasbro comic universe.
Okay, yeah.
So the last few years of the Transformers comic from IDW, which by the way is one of the best comic series of all time, the IDW Transformers is amazing, and there is multiple stuff you can read. But they've done the G.I. Joe crossover, the requisite G.I. Joe crossover. They've done company-wide IDW crossovers like Ghostbusters and Star Trek and a whole bunch of weird shit like that. And they have done a really, really fucking great crossover with like a whole bunch of other weird Hasbro properties, like ROM Space Knight.
Yeah.
Which is very wild and also has like a really good comic series from like the 80s. But it's been like it's basically Hasbro has been trying to get all the fucking characters into their comics.
Big Hasbro crossover comic.
Yeah, and now Hasbro, now that the IDW comic of Transformers has ended, they're doing like their own little kind of thing where they're doing a little initiative where they're going to start promoting a lot of the female Hasbro characters and a lot of the girl-oriented properties, so to speak. And that seems like it's going to be really, really fun. I'm kind of excited to see where this goes. But the key art is really cute so far. It's got like everybody from like Gem and the Holograms to some of the female Transformers to some of the My Little Ponies to like a whole bunch of these wild characters kind of all teaming up and hanging out. And I'm wondering if that's going to be any fun to read. It seems like it might be though, because they have a track record of getting very good writers on their work.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm excited to see where that goes.
Is there a release?
I'm not entirely sure. I think it's just an initiative starting next year.
Oh,
but that key artwork is sick.
Yeah,
like really fucking sick. It just makes me happy to see like shit happening with the.
I like the color palettes.
Oh yeah.
The like pastel-y, purple, bluey is good.
So yeah, that seems like a lot of fun, and I'm really excited to see where that goes. But that was just like a little thing. I'm like, ooh, Hasbro making more comic makes me happy.
I'm into it. I might pick that up. I like I like starting when things start.
Yeah. So that would be a good time to start. Or the Transformers comic is also relaunching next year. So if it's any good, that'll be a good time to start it out.
Sick.
What else have we got on the docket?
I think we're pretty much done.
Do we want to talk about Fortnite dances again? Well, we might as well.
Yeah, Carlton Banks is suing Epic Games for putting the Carlton dance in
as one of their emotes.
The Fortnites, as one of the emotes.
So Fortnite has a reputation of stealing dances from African American artists, stuff that they created, that they choreographed themselves. Chance the Rapper, for instance.
Yeah.
Basically, let's just put it this way. Stealing people's intellectual property is not cool.
No.
Especially if those people that you're stealing from are marginalized artists who work really, usually double hard to make half the money.
Yeah. I can't even.
And these people work hard to kind of develop signature dances, and dances are art. I think that dances are legitimately intellectual property.
Yeah.
Like
it's just hard to put a fucking trademark
the
on
moonwalk
that shit.
belongs to Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
It doesn't belong to anybody else. That is his IP. He created the moonwalk,
And that's not to say that you can't do the moonwalk
at
a dance
exactly.
party. Go for it. But if you're going to put it in your video game,
you should pay some money to Michael's estate.
That's like it's like getting licensed music.
Exactly. Using licensed music and shit, unless it is your own cover song or something, okay, is not fucking cool. Stealing people's IPs is not cool because you're taking money out of people who worked hard's pockets. I don't think that's very nice. On one hand, I'm very much about Creative Commons and fair use, but there's a distinct difference between fair use and literally stealing something from a marginalized artist and not giving them any credit or pay for it. There are kids now who think that the Carlton dance, Alfonso Ribeiro's dance is a Fortnite dance. And just the fact that half of these dances, people just call them Fortnite dances, goes to show you how they're being divorced from their original context and stolen from people. And I don't think that's really cool. And, people are going around saying, you can't own a dance. The comment section on the article where we found this story.
We accidentally read the comments.
Yeah, is saying, you can't own a dance.
It's like you can, though.
Choreographers and artists invent dances. Yeah. They don't just come out of nowhere. And there is a history of white people stealing dances from black artists and capitalizing off of them. That's not fucking cool. We did it with rock and roll music, and we're doing it with their dances. That is what white people do. And it's not fucking cool, and we need to stop doing that. If these developers...
No, I want to put it in video game.
If these developers want Fortnite emotes to have dances, okay, that's fine. invent your
pay
own.
shit. Yeah.
Invent your own fucking dances, because obviously it's easier for you to steal them. If you it's clear to me that it's easier for them to steal a dance than it is to invent one.
Like, this wouldn't be an issue if you could make your own emotes.
Yes, exactly. Make your own fucking emotes, invent your own dances. Stop taking them. And if you want to use a real dance, make it a cross promotion. License that shit and cross promote it. I'm sure most of these people would be glad to have their fucking shit in a game like Fortnite.
Yeah.
But
and like,
wouldn't
the whole
it be
problem,
nice
the
if they
whole
got some
issue
fucking
here
credit?
is that, like, it's not, you stole my dance. It's, you're making money off my dance.
Yeah.
Like, if this was a free emote, this probably wouldn't even be an issue.
Yeah, exactly. But emotes on Fortnite aren't free.
No.
A lot of them are not. And they do pretty much steal straight up from everybody. Yeah, the dance is even called Fresh.
Yeah.
Fresh. That's
on the nose.
3 words away from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
That's 4 words.
Yeah, well, 3 words away because it's called Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Bel-Air is one word.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I thought.
But,
anyway.
yeah, that's 3 words away from being exactly the thing that it's from.
Yeah.
That is copyright infringement. And I'm not going to be surprised.
We can't have JoJo stand names be called.
Yes, exactly.
Like,
which
if we have to call Tiny Feet Little Feet.
Exactly. Like that just.
Oh fuck, Lil Bomber.
Lil Bomber.
Lil Bomber.
Lil
hey,
Bomber.
Check out my SoundCloud.
It's Lil Bomber. No, well, Narantia would be a SoundCloud rapper.
Oh god, yeah.
He would be.
He would.
That's the kind of shit that he'd listen to.
But yeah, like if we gotta fucking not name JoJo things what they're named.
Yeah, and I'm all for that. I'm like, if it,
yeah,
like, I don't want fucking JoJo to not be in North America, but I also don't want artists to have their fucking likenesses or credit stolen away from them. Like, it still makes me kind of mad when like JoJo fans are more familiar with the JoJo than the thing that it's actually taking the name from, because when Araki references something, it's clearly because he has an affection for it.
Yeah, and there is also generally like a reason for like Narantsi's fucking Aerosmith.
Yeah.
Dude looks like a lady. He did that on purpose.
Exactly. Dio's The World, right?
Yeah.
The design has a scuba tank on the back. Holy Diver by
Yeah.
Dio. Yeah. Like, they're intentional references.
You got Purple Haze, whose power
is literally poison.
Yeah.
It's like, like it's intentional. So yeah, like it's you know, it's not cool.
I get
but
why
it's
it happens.
Exactly. It happens because people want to pay tribute to people, but they also don't realize that people's intellectual property is something they work hard to curate. And you know, once again, like especially marginalized artists work really hard for not as much of the money half the time. And in a capitalistic society that is literally just inherently inequitable. Yeah. People need to make money how they can. And
sometimes you got to sue a motherfucker for stealing your shit.
Exactly. And until we completely eliminate capitalism, which we're working on it, but until we do
Give us time.
Until we do it, we should stop taking things from marginalized people and repackaging it.
I mean, the thing too is like a lot of the comments are like, "Oh, someone needs money." It's like, yeah, probably
to eat.
Yeah, like
residual checks don't last forever for some people. You know what Alfonso Ribeiro is doing now? I don't fucking know what he's doing.
Me neither. He's suing Epic Games.
Yeah, on one hand, sure, he probably doesn't have to work another day in his life. That's great. You know why he doesn't have to work another day in his life?
Because
he put in a lot of fucking time and effort for a long amount of time, with the payoff being that he wouldn't have to afterwards. So he's paid his time. He's worked hard for this money. Like, Carlton is an iconic character. I want Alfonso Ribeiro to be given money for the shit that he invented. He improvised that whole dance. Yeah. That is something he created, and he's good at it too.
Look at him go.
Yeah, he's fucking great. He's much better
than a Fortnite. Like they fucking stuck
emote.
mocaps on him.
It's straight up just theft. So yeah, Epic Games, stop stealing from black artists. Stop it. Fucking get some new emotes. Make up your own. If you really want emotes that bad, stop stealing and make your own. It's not fucking cool.
The Chance the Rapper actual tweet is Fortnite should put the actual rap songs behind the dance that makes so much money. As emotes.
Yeah.
Black creatives created and popularized these dances, but never mentioned them. Yeah. Imagine the money people are spending on these emotes being shared with the artists that made them.
Yep.
And yeah.
And music artists don't make as much money as people think that they do.
No, they really don't.
Like
even like just Spotify. Like okay, I fucking subscribe to Spotify. I'm, you know.
But yeah, Spotify doesn't pay its artists for their individual streams of their songs.
Well, they do, but
not a lot.
Minusculely.
Yeah, cents.
Yeah,
cents. And that is,
I think, fractions of cents. Actually,
yeah,
but
really, like
it's bad.
Not a fuck lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, people need to fucking eat. People need to put food on the table for their families. Please stop stealing.
Outlook on life is fuck you, pay me.
So yeah, and stop stealing from marginalized artists. Like fuck. Like I said, they work double the time for half the money.
Mm-hmm.
For God's sakes, do the right thing and stop it. So yeah, Epic Games, go fuck yourselves for this. I think that might be it.
I'm pretty sure that's it.
But that's a good thing to end it on, actually. So yeah, the end. Fuck Epic Games. Fortnite, stop stealing dances from black artists. It's not cool. Jesus.
That's horrifying. Someone photoshopped Will Smith blue.
I don't like that. He looks like what's his name from Liar Liar.
Oh my god. Yeah, I forgot that movie existed. I'm checking to see if any news popped up while we were actually recording this, but it's not looking like
barren,
it. Just a lot of naked cosplayers on my Twitter feed.
Yeah,
and
pretty
that's
much.
an episode. Oh wait, I want to see this.
Oh boy.
Actually, you know what? No, it's fine. That's an episode. Have a good night, guys.
Yeah, you guys have yourselves a good week.
Wait. I guess we got a plug. Oh,
yeah.
Hey, electric skateboard. Do you have a fucking question for me? No, probably not. I think it's gone.
Boycott Fortnite. Actually, yes. I agree.
Hi.
Yeah, you got a question for us?
Probably not.
It's
gonna be a joke question.
Well, I don't know. Maybe. Let's see. I like questions. I want to see if you can come up with one.
No, but I know this guy's gonna be
bad. Okay.
What you been up, guys? Oh wow, I'm fucking tired. Yeah, we need to end this. What's been up, guys? Actually, yeah, I guess we gotta do our what's been up. Now that I have grieved enough, I will probably get back to streaming after the holidays, because my next week is pretty booked. Maybe Monday we'll be able to shit something out onto the stream.
Yeah, I would like that.
Probably continue Darksiders 2.
All right.
But if not, after the holidays, I'll definitely stream some good stuff. I feel like I'll probably buy myself a new game for Christmas.
As we said earlier, we'll probably try and put something out on Boxing Day, but it will be probably pre-recorded and not live because fuck it, we'll do it live is not really possible during the holidays all the time.
Not when you gotta punch an old lady for a PS4 Pro.
And not when you gotta punch the clock for money.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess
that's
gonna be it.
Catch us on YouTube.
Yeah, don't forget to sub. Share if you can. I like shares. Please share our stuff. Please give us likes.
Yes, please give us likes.
And please give us feedback. I like feedback too. I want to hear criticism.
Yeah. Give us thumbs downs or thumbs up on the YouTube video.
We did get a thumbs down, which made us happy.
We're doing it right.
Yeah. I'm sure we got a thumbs down from the right people too.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're enjoying having fun. We're doing
Super
this.
best friends dislike your video.
Oh! We should call this podcast "The Super Best Friends Fucking Died."
Nah, I'll figure it out.
They are fucking dead.